Hi, welcome to CloudEagle's Insights in Minutes. It feels like every company I talk to is in a mad dash to adopt more SaaS tools, but then, almost out of nowhere, they get hit with surprise software costs. Have you seen this happen?
Oh, all the time. The funny part is the speed and flexibility of SaaS are huge draws, but the hidden costs like duplicate subscriptions and zombie licenses creep up until finance teams do a quarterly review and realize budgets are leaking fast.
Exactly. That's where SaaS spend management comes into play. Companies are realizing they need a way to actually see what they're spending and make sure every dollar counts, not just rely on messy spreadsheets or old processes.
And it's not just about tracking costs anymore. With the SaaS market exploding from $266 billion in 2024 to over a trillion by 2032, having a strategy to control these expenses isn't optional. It's the only way to scale without chaos.
So let's back up for a second. When we talk about SaaS spend management, what do we actually mean?
Think of it as a system for finding, tracking, and optimizing all the cloud software your teams use. That means identifying every active subscription, checking usage patterns, and making sure renewals and contracts aren't just left on autopilot.
It's almost like doing a software inventory, but with teeth. Because you're not just cataloging, you're teeing up decisions. Which subscriptions need to be cut, which need to be right sized, and how to align spend with business goals.
Yeah, and the best part is when you bring in spend management software, it's not just a list. You get dashboards, usage analytics, and automated workflows that tell you where costs are hiding and help you act before budgets spiral out of control.
That actually reminds me of a conversation I had with a CFO who said shadow IT is their biggest SaaS nightmare. Teams just swipe the card and start trials. IT and finance don't even know until something breaks or a huge bill drops.
It's wild, right? Shadow IT leads to duplicate apps, compliance risks, and a ton of wasted spend. Plus, when data is scattered between SSO logs, finance systems, and endpoints, nobody has a full picture of what's going on.
And those missed renewals or opaque contracts, suddenly you're auto renewed for another year on a tool no one uses. Without centralized control, it's almost impossible to negotiate or right size before it's too late.
Exactly, and that's why unifying all your SaaS spend data across procurement, IT, and finance has become one of the most important moves for companies trying to get serious about optimization.
Once you get your arms around what you're actually using, what's the next step? How do teams go from simply discovering their SaaS inventory to actually optimizing it?
Great question. After discovery, the real magic is in right sizing, like adjusting license tiers to match actual usage, reclaiming unused seats, and consolidating vendors so you're not paying double for the same feature.
It also means renegotiating contracts based on real data. If you know how much you use and what your peers are paying, you're in a way better spot for negotiations. Plus, setting up renewal calendars so you never get blindsided again.
And don't forget about embedding KPIs into the process. Track utilization rates, license reclamation, and consolidation wins. When everyone from IT to finance sees those numbers, it's a lot easier to stay aligned and keep waste under control.
Could you unpack how spend management platforms and now AI are changing the game here? I've heard people talk about dashboard fatigue, but they say the right platform makes all the difference.
Totally. Modern platforms like CloudEagle.ai pull in data from SSO, finance, HR, and even browser extensions. Then they use AI to flag duplicate apps, surface underused licenses, and even recommend negotiation tactics.
That's a huge step up from old school spreadsheets. I love that these platforms automate renewal alerts and approvals and help finance, IT, and procurement act as one team instead of siloed islands.
Plus, AI is starting to predict renewal risks, benchmark your pricing, and streamline procurement workflows. So instead of reacting to problems, you're proactively optimizing SaaS spend in real time.
Let's say a company puts a spend management strategy in place. How do they know if it's actually working?
It comes down to tracking the right KPIs. For example, monitor the percentage of spend under management, track cost avoidance versus real savings, and measure how many licenses you've reclaimed or how many duplicate tools you've eliminated.
And don't sleep on soft metrics, stakeholder satisfaction, time to approve requests, and alignment across teams are just as telling. Regular reviews and clear baselines make it easier to see progress quarter over quarter.
Absolutely. And as you keep optimizing, you'll notice higher ROI, smarter budgets, and way fewer headaches at renewal time. That's when SaaS spend management really proves its value.
Before we wrap, what's on the horizon for SaaS spend management? Where do you see things heading in the next year or two?
Honestly, the future feels like real time everything. AI driven procurement, instant alerts for usage spikes, and even automated contract reviews. The goal is making spend optimization so seamless, humans only step in when there's a real decision to make.
And it sounds like with more vendor consolidation, tighter compliance, and automated renewal workflows, companies will finally have a system that scales with growth instead of breaking under it.
Exactly. If you're building your SaaS stack for the future, now's the time to standardize your tools, integrate your data, and get serious about proactive spend management. Your finance team and really your whole company will thank you. All right, it's time to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us today. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Insights in Minutes.